Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, madam.
Now, today we want to continue from where we stopped yesterday, and we will wrap up the synchronous meeting today, which is the video conferencing on EDP912. After today's meeting, we will still meet on the synchronous aspects on our course page, because there are things we need to attend to on the course page, and I observe that people have not visited the course page. So please try and visit the course page, because there are other activities we're going to do there, and there are things I'm going to be taking you through till the end of September. By end of September, we would have wrapped up everything properly. Well, however, this morning, we have two persons that are going to do their presentation. Only yesterday, we agreed that Rest and Sunday, they are going to do their presentation today. And we have the topics or the guidelines we were given. So we're going to listen to the presentation. And after each presentation, we'll ask questions, critique the work, and you are lucky that you have two of your colleagues joining you, so they will be able to join to critique your work. And yesterday, I think Sunday protested by starting first. So today we will make Rest to start first. You are just two. So right now, I'm going to call on Mr. Sajere Rest to present what he has for us this morning. While he's presenting, please, the rest of us, note the gaps, areas that are good, that he needs to improve on, and the areas that he would need to rework, so that we'll be able to make adequate contribution to his work. So, Rest, now you have the floor.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Share your screen.
Okay.
To make your presentation. So you can finish greeting us. After greeting us, share your screen and make your presentation.
Okay. Good morning, class. Good morning, ma'am. I first of all want to say that the opportunity given us is unique. Is my screen is being shared now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. It is unique. However, it has been very hectic, especially in Asaba. We've not had light for some time now. So working in the dark has been a challenge. But however, I did something, though I could not finish. I'll present what I did. You gave us two assignments yesterday. The first one, you said we should give an outline of how we intend to carry out our work. Then the other one, you gave us, you said we should have a clean copy of the topic, introduction, empirical studies, and so on and so forth. So the ones I did, I will just mention them. The ones I couldn't do, I will explain what I intend to do. Accept my apology, man. So for the outline of the work, the topic that the clean copy topic I finally came up with is assessment.
Can you do slideshow? Click on slideshow.
Slideshow.
At the bottom of your work, you will see slideshow.
No, I've not seen it. Okay, okay.
So that's good.
Okay.
Because that is how you will present when you are presenting your seminar.
Okay.
So anytime you now want to go to the next page, you're going to see your four directional arrow keys. As you click on the right, take you to the next.
Okay. Okay. So my topic I came up with assessment of entrepreneurial skills acquired by products of entrepreneurship and skill acquisition centers in Delta State for self-reliance. A seminar paper presented by Sajere Rex, EDP912, Advanced Seminar in Educational Planning, National Open University of Nigeria, August 2019. The outline of the seminar, chapter 1, introduction, which includes the background of the study, then the statement of problem, purpose of study, then research questions, if research questions and or hypothesis, significance of study, operational definition of terms. Then chapter 2, review of related literature, conceptual framework, theoretical framework, or you can use either of them or both of them. Then empirical studies, which was in empirical studies, then other relevant subheadings, then appraisal of related literature. Then chapter 3 is methodology, the research design, population of a study, sample and sampling technique, instrument of data collection, procedure for data collection, then method of analysis. Chapter 4, my result, answers to research question. So research question 1, answer, research question 2, and research question 3. Then testing of hypothesis, hypothesis 1, 2, and 3. Then a summary of my findings. Then chapter 5 is discussion, conclusion, and recommendation. So discussion of empirical studies, discussion of results rather, that's a mistake. Discussion of results, implication of study, conclusion, and if there are recommendations, I will add the recommendation. Then I have the references and the appendix. So these are the outline that I came up with for. I think I will pause here for any comments and questions on this before I
proceed.
Okay. Okay, man. So for the other work I had, it was I will try and give an for the one I did. The topic is assessment of entrepreneurial skills acquired by products of entrepreneurial skill acquisition centers in Delta State for self-reliance. An introduction there, entrepreneurship has to do with identifying gaps and business opportunities in one's immediate environment and bringing together the necessary resources in an innovative way to fill those gaps, bearing the risk involved, and in the process, gaining personal reward. Then entrepreneurship has become a permanent inclusion in our vocabulary in Nigeria today. Then Shane, 2003, described entrepreneurship as the art of being an entrepreneur. According to Shane, the word entrepreneur can be taken to mean an individual who undertakes innovation, finance, and business acumen in an effort to transform innovation into economic goods and the result of one effort in entrepreneurship, organization in response to perceived opportunities. Then I looked at the concept of entrepreneurship, and like I have here, it's not actually alien to our culture, because even before the colonial masters came, the three major ethnic nationalities, they had an informal entrepreneurship lifestyle. But according to Fajana 2000, who wrote, he said that this lifestyle enhanced them in doing services to themselves, to the community, and their settlement. But during the colonial period, according to Fajana 2000, Nigeria lost the culture of self-reliance and self-employment and opted for Western style of formal education. It paid off initially as a few privileged Nigerians who went through the colonial system absorbed into enviable positions, because in those days, the Nigerian economy was large enough to absorb the educated into the prestigious white-collar jobs, according to Raimi and Tuwabola 2012. It's apt to mention, however, that the age-long formal education inherited from the imperialists turned out graduates with job-seeking mindset as opposed to job creation. They thus lack entrepreneurial traits like self-motivation, drive, and innovation needed by the world of work and the employers of labor. So based on the structural and functional flaws found in the nation's development blueprint, it then dawned on the government that the proper thing to do is to review the national education curriculum by embedding entrepreneurship education as a compulsory course to be taken by all undergraduate students. Then the Nigerian government added the needs for new integrative functional curriculum for schools and for entrepreneurship subjects in their SSC. OG 2011 gave a highlight of some advantages of entrepreneurship. According to him, trade/entrepreneurship education stroke training seeks to provide students with requisite knowledge to prepare them for self-employment, that is wealth generation and poverty alleviation, promote occupational aspiration and job readiness, promote hand-on work-based experience, enhance acquisition of functional organizational skills, and so on and so forth. Statistically, Nigeria has a youth population of 67 million, 150 million, that's an error there, I'm sorry, between 35 years, of which 42% of these are young adults. They don't have a means of livelihood, and it's a cause for concern. Now, narrowing down to my observed that most graduates in the States prefer to go for paid labor instead of embarking on entrepreneurship. And to check this trend, Delta State government has taken steps, which includes partnering with the federal government in providing assistance to the growth of technical education in the state. It also supports federal initiatives like the Subsidy Reinvestment Empowerment Program, SHOPE, which was established by the federal government. The state government has also embarked on vocational training and technical skills development, allowing for capacity building of facilitators and retraining for graduates of secondary schools within the state. One of such partnerships is with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and Share Professional Development Company, SPDC, to launch the Youth Empowerment Program, YEP. The YEP gave rise to the ongoing establishment of a technical institute in Egbokodo, Warri, which has a total of 150 graduates presently being trained at the PTI FRU. Other practical steps towards youth empowerment and self-employment include, among notable innovatives, the Youth Empowerment Through Agriculture YETA Program, Farmer Support Program, FSP, and other microcredit scheme, which has earned the state several honors and awards within a short period of implementation. The state government also embarked on empowering graduates and organizing undergraduate programs for 6 to 12 months to train them to become entrepreneurs. Now, the statement of the problem: while products of formal and vocational education have continued to thrive as successful entrepreneurs in many countries like China, Malaysia, Brazil, and even South Africa, it is becoming rare to find products of schools in Delta State enter into entrepreneurship. Consequently, it appears there is
We are no more hearing you. Your network is having issue. It was having issue with network. Let's see if he can come back. Let's give him some time. I hope he's aware he's off.
I hope he's aware too. he must be aware of that.
He's supposed to know, but he will not
Yes.
see himself in the screen.
Yes.
We are still waiting for you.
Hello, ma.
We are still waiting for you. Continue.
The Wi-Fi I'm using has gone, but the phone seems to be working. Maybe I'll continue with the phone to read what I have here.
But we need it. Without seeing what you are doing, we can't critique your work. Why don't you use your phone? Use your hotspot to your computer.
Yeah, computer, yes.
Use your hotspot.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, ma.
Because if you are just speaking, there are a lot of things we are going to critique in your work. If we don't see it, we can't critique it.
Okay, ma, let me do that, sir.
You know, he was moving fine until the network interrupted.
Yes, yes, yes. It was a beautiful one.
We are starting again. What is going to happen is that your presentation, you might pause it, or if you want to continue, you finish it, but you cannot be able to critique your work because there are a lot of things I saw while you were presenting, spoken to. But as it is, I don't know how we're going to handle that. But however, we allow you to finish your work. Continue.
Okay, ma'am. So, the purpose of the study, the main purpose of the study is to assess the entrepreneurship. The following specific purposes of this study are: one, assess the essence in this product of entrepreneurship centers in data space have acquired entrepreneurial skills for self-reliance. Two, to assess the essence to which existing infrastructural facilities available in the institution affect the acquisition of entrepreneurial skills by products of entrepreneurship acquisition centers in data. Three, to assess the adequacy of human resources for the acquisition of entrepreneurship skills by products of entrepreneurial acquisition centers. Then the research, of the study, the significance of the study. One, it could assist education policy makers and planners by providing valuable data to both Data State Ministry of Education and Commerce and Industry to understand the level of acquisition of entrepreneurial skills by products of entrepreneurship centers in Delta State, thus providing a reference for future policy evaluation and replanning. Two, it would assist government to determine the adequacy of the existing infrastructural facilities required for the acquisition of entrepreneurship skills by products of entrepreneurship centers in Delta State for self-reliance. Three, it would assist government to determine the adequacy of the available human resources required for the acquisition of entrepreneurship by products of entrepreneurship centers in Delta State. The research questions. The following research questions were formulated to guide the study. 1. To what extent do skills, to what extent do products of entrepreneurship acquisition centers in Delta State acquire entrepreneurial skills required for establishment of business for self-reliance? 2. How adequate are the existing infrastructural facilities required for the acquisition of entrepreneurship skills by products of entrepreneurship centers in Delta State? 3. How adequate are the available human resources required for the acquisition of entrepreneurship skills by products of entrepreneurial centers in Delta State for self-reliance? And because I intend to do an empirical study, I have 3 hypotheses stated. So, hypotheses. The following null hypotheses were formulated and tested at 0.05 level of significance for this study. 1. Hypothesis 1, null hypothesis 1, there is no significant difference between the assessment of facilitators and students on skills acquired by products.
Well, his internet is having issue again. So at this point, we don't have alternative than to call on Mr. Male to do his presentation. So, Mr. Male, can you do your presentation? Can you do your presentation, please? You can share the screen and start your presentation. Yes, we are seeing your screen.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure seeing everyone.
Put it on slideshow. Put it on slideshow. Look at the bottom. You see slideshow. Click on your slideshow. No, go to the next one. This bottom, the bottom. Go to the next one.
Okay.
You will see slideshow if you put your icon.
It's not showing here.
You should click. Click.
I should click this one?
Yes.
Good morning once again. It's a pleasure having every one of us here in this forum, and everybody is looking very, very fine. We thank God for that. I want to take the full responsibility of any mistake that may be discovered in the course of this paper presentation. My name is Omale Sunday, and I want to present a paper on the topic which says an investigation of private cost funding and human resources as determinants of university school enrollment in Kogi State in North Central Geopolitical Zone of Nigeria. This paper is presented to the School of Education as part of the work that will give me PhD educational planning. and it's expected that this paper will be presented in September. That's why I put September there.
It's not
Then these are the following.
Continue.
These are the following things we are going to see in this paper. We have abstracts, if time permitted, introduction. We have a literature review. We have methodology, and we have references. Under introduction, we have the following subheadings. We have statement of the problem. We have objective of the study. We have specific objectives. We have research questions. We have significance of the study. We have scope of the study. And we have operational definition of terms. Under literature review, we have the following subheadings. Private cost of university education, funding, human resources, enrollment of students into universities in North Central Zone of Nigeria, Kogi to be precise. Methodology, we have the following subheadings. Population, sample and sampling technique, instrument for data collection, validity of the instruments, reliability of the instruments, procedure for data collection, and method of data analysis. These are what will be seen in this paper presentation.
Are you done?
No, I'm coming to the real work now. What I just did was a preamble of what I expected. Now, introduction. Introduction. We all know about education. That education is an instrument
So
of
where
change
is the
for
real work?
promoting.
Where is the slides for your real work?
Sorry?
What you are saying, we are not seeing what you are presenting. This is the one you just finished presenting.
Okay.
What you are presenting now, where is it? Minimize this one. Let's see the new one you are presenting.
Okay.
Don't close it. Minimize
Can
it.
you be seen now? Yes, ma'am. But can you be seen? I'm on now on introduction.
We are not seeing.
Can this one be?
Minimize this one that you have.
I've minimized the one I did first.
That is the one that is still showing. Okay, remove it, unshare and share again. Okay, let it come up now. If this is what you are showing, you can click. I think the issue you are having now is how to get it out.
Yes.
Is this the new one you are telling us?
No, this is not the new one. This is the old one. The new one, how to get to that second page. I have here. But is this seen now? Is this seen now?
No.
You will be seeing what we are seeing now. We are seeing a table of contents. I said on share so that you can share.
To get to that on share now. Yes. Yes. Well, sorry for the interruption or the delay so far. Okay. Under introduction, we have the following. Education is an instrument or key for promoting the socio-economic and cultural development of a country. Education creates...
Speak to your paper. Stop reading. Speak to your paper. Speak to your paper. Stop reading, because that was the same thing Rex did. You don't read. Yes. Speak to your paper. It's taking time.
Yes. Just as I was trying to say, under introduction, we all know that education is a key to any national development or individual development. And many of our citizens in the country, Nigeria to be precise, we don't have access to education as a result of restriction to admitting students. And the reason is because they don't have enough infrastructure or manpower or funding to cater for all the people that are qualified and are ready to go for education, especially in higher education. And that's one of the reasons why this particular paper presentation or the topic is very, very important, because many of the youth are roaming about, searching and looking for admission, and no admission for them. For instance, in Abuja alone, in 2018, where the number of people that actually applied for Abuja University are over 18,000 students. Abuja alone, but at the end of the day, only 4,000 were in. Just Abuja alone, and it cut across boards. Go to Kogi, the same story. Go to Nasarawa, the same story. Go to Niger, the same story. Go to all these, all part of the country. And the question any reasonable person will ask is that, why this scenario? Why this continuity? And what are the way forward? These are one of the reasons why this paper is necessary. We're trying to see how our youths that are qualified to go into university education will have access to university education. I know, just like as it is written here by Ajayi and Ekudom 2017, they say education also increase or enhance the economic returns and significant effect on poverty. Of course, that is true. The issue is that people that are ready to go to school will have the chance to go to statement of the problem. That is what I already said. For all school levels, quality standards and quality determines. Quality is a determinant factor for the existence in the ever-changing academic environment. Many of our university, they don't have the quality because there's no funding to employ the right people. And also, the manpower they have is of low standard. And that's why we want to look at how we're able to solve this problem. We'll talk of the objective of this study. The objective is to find a way forward. We will not continue folding our hands to see our great people that will make this country great, yet they don't have the opportunity to review their certificate. That's one of the reasons, one of the main objectives why this particular paper presentation of the topic is very, very important. We'll go to specific objective. One of the objectives is that to describe the factor affecting university school enrollment. What are the factors? We talk of funding, we talk of a lot of things, private costs. There are a lot of reasons why people are not getting admission. We're going to see that if the time permits us. This next objective is to find out better ways of promoting school enrollment. we have to look at that. The next one is to describe how the different factors affect university. That's the factor that we mentioned as time goes on, affect university enrollment. Also, we could look at how we can promote tools that actually enhance university education in areas of enrolling the qualified people that are supposed to be in the school. Also, look at research questions. What are the questions that are of interest as far as this research or this seminar is concerned? One of the questions is, how does nature of change in private course funding and human resources affect university school enrollment? There are changes layout, how this affects. Sorry, it's like I lost that.
Okay, Male, stop.
Sorry, I'm not done.
Just hold on. We don't have all the time.
Sorry, I'm back.
If we are to do presentation, hold on, because your own presentation is taking the same tone with rest. Before I comment, I don't know if Mrs. Abimbola, MEC, you have any comment, any observation from the two presentations?
Yes, I actually noticed, actually I was not in the class yesterday, but I thought the presentation of the research are supposed to be on PowerPoint, not on, not PowerPoint and words. And then I noticed the second thing I noticed is that when Rex was presenting, he was actually reading from his word, and Omale too is doing the same. So I don't know. I feel maybe you should put us through, because if we are to do seminar presentation, it's going to be on PowerPoint. All our points are supposed to be on PowerPoint.
Thank you for your observations. Mrs. Abimbola, do you want to corroborate? Do you have something to add or to say no?
I'm not hearing you.
Mrs. Abimbola, are you talking to us? We are not hearing you. Are you speaking? We are not hearing you.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Fairly.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I say my observation on referencing. That what we said yesterday was that when we strictly on APA style, but some what I'm seeing there in terms of the inbuilt referencing that we're having there, where we have the son name, which is supposed to be outside the bracket, and the year of publication of the text. Everything is being put in the, maybe, I don't know, maybe that one is another style apart from APA.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments?
No, for now.
Thank you. You see, the comments that the two of you had, I will check the reference. I have not even seen their reference properly. But the comment made by EMEC, they were quite right. From the two presentations, I wonder if you have done, I don't know, did you people do seminar in your masters?
Yes, I did.
No, ma'am.
I did.
Because I am surprised at the presentations. First and foremost, I know I have made corrections on even your topics, but the corrections are not reflecting. I will make general comments, then we'll go step by step, we'll scroll through your work and critique it, and I hope you will take corrections. Because even with the verbal presentation that was made, was it yesterday or the day before, I did some, but I could see that you already have a formed opinion, and you are not changing from your formed opinion. And as an academics, you don't work that way, because you have to look at, like I told you, academics don't speak and they don't talk like journalists. We talk scientifically. Now, on the general note, there is a difference between proposal defense and seminar. In a seminar paper, you don't bring out 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It's not done in seminar paper. But if you have to present your proposal defense, proposal is your chapter 1 to 3 before you go to the field to do your study. That is proposal defense. That is not seminar presentation. Seminar presentation, if you write up your seminar, it can be submitted even for publication as it is. Your seminar presentation, I explained that yesterday. Yes, you will have that introduction, everything you have in, can you scroll up? Omale, scroll up. You can have everything you, okay, maybe we go to your outline. Bring out your outline. Let's see your outline. Minimize this one and click on the first one you did. Yes, you will have everything there. But, okay, hold on. If you have not clicked on this, scroll. Because I'm seeing 1.1, scroll. Are you hearing?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Scroll.
That's the beginning, man.
I know. Hold on. Okay. I'm seeing statement of the problem. Scroll. You have objective. All these words, you don't itemize them like this in a seminar paper. What could separate them? Because that is why you talk about coherence when you are doing your presentation. And that yesterday, I knew I even spoke on paragraphing, and I said use indented paragraph. Because all this heading 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, you don't show it when you are presenting your seminar paper. Everything that is under this chapter 1 is put together as introduction, and it will flow, it will connect. You don't put 1.3, 1. This, no, it's not done. But if you are doing proposal defense, then you cannot go into details to bring out each and every one of them. And I said that yesterday, you didn't go by that. Now, the first thing that will even be, when you are to introduce yourself, you try and be formal. Even if everybody sitting around you, they are all familiar to you. But at the time you said this is presentation, you have to be serious and be formal about it. You go into the business straight ahead. Good morning, I am this. If I am Sunday Omale, I'm here to do my seminar presentation titled, you go straight. All those rigmaroling and cracking jokes are not allowed because this is formal. You be serious with your presentation because the code of conduct, you have scores. And when that is done, right here, yesterday, can we go to your topic now? Let's see your topic. While you are going back to the former one you presented, so we can see your, okay, maybe before you leave this, because I don't know how much you are able to control this now. Let me speak on the references before we leave this page. When you are referencing, you don't reference work that is older than 10 years. You don't. Because there are current work. The only area where you can reference work that is even up to 30 years, maybe when you are laying foundation, like for example, you want to use a particular theory and you want to build on that theory, then you can cite maybe the person who propounded the theory. And the person who propounded that theory may have propounded that theory maybe in 20 something. Yes, you can now cite and state the theory, work around it, and now build on it to the present. But whereby you are now making just citation like that, you don't do such that is older than 10 years. And I will encourage you people, go to Google Scholar. When you want to search for references online, please use Google Scholar. Type Google Scholar. Then under Google Scholar, you are going to see works that have been done. According to the years, you will see works that have been done. That will guide you when you are using Google Scholar. Now scroll within, let me see your citation within your document, because Mrs. Abimbola mentioned something a while ago where you know you did any citation. Take us there, let's see. Even all these your research questions, the way they are stated, they are not in line. But let's see your references. I want to see within the body where you were doing your references. I mean, she saw some.
Yeah, one is here.
Okay, let me see. It said, for example, Wadiani and Akpotu, 2002. On the other hand, examine the academic. This one is okay, it's West, but I don't know whether this, for example, because I have not read this, I don't know why it's for example here. I have not read it, but the citation, when you say Wadiani and Akpotu, this is okay, 2002. But on the other hand, the way you link it up, it's not, I'm not comfortable. I don't know how you have done it. Because from what you are saying here, it's not properly linked. Let's see another one. This one that you put by NUC there. I don't know if you have mentioned what NUC is somewhere. If you have not mentioned it, just put in NUC. I don't know how we will understand what NUC represents. Continue, let me see. Is there any other citation you have? Because what she was saying, I want to see if I can see that.
Go back to introduction.
See one.
Hold on. Here, in this case, this is allowed because if what he has paraphrased, that is just trying to say all this, the idea of everything I've said is not mine. If you are not quoting it this way, yes, this is still allowed. But 2001 to 2019, how many years difference is that?
Okay, almost 18 years old.
So we will not take all this. You must do your referencing, at least about 95% of them should not be older than 10 years. Like I told you, the few ones that will be taken older than 10 years could be such that maybe when you are building a conceptual framework, you are building on something, and you want to take, okay, this person has started this work, and you are building on it, then it could be allowed. So maybe 5% out of your total referencing because of that building. So if you look at this, I am not too comfortable with it. Now let's go to your topic. Because this one is equally applicable to what Res presented. At least I've explained there is a difference between proposal and seminar. You were presenting your work as if it's a proposal. It's not proposal you are preparing for seminar. Go to your topic. Let's see your topic.
I'll remind this man.
Yes. Is that taking time again?
I'm coming, man.
It's just to minimize and click on the other one. Okay, let me continue because since it's finding it difficult to get where to put the topic. But however, in your topic, I wanted you to identify the variables you want to deal with. Because when you are building a background, this is for all of us, you have your topic. Within your topic, you must be able to identify the variables you want to work on. And it is the variables that will form your background for people to understand what you're talking about. And it is with that variable too that will determine the type of subtopics you need to bring up, the type of subtopics you need to work on. It is the variable that I will add as a guide. But with what he presented, yes, he's talking about private cost. And I know day before yesterday, I can't remember that day before yesterday or yesterday, I so much lay emphasis. What are you concerned about the private cost? And you say you are working on access. Now, what are those things that you are concerned with private cost to access? And you talk about human resources. How do you intend to bring in this? Because, like I mentioned before now, when you are coming up with a seminar paper, you are coming up with a seminar paper to improve existing knowledge or for people to have a new knowledge. And in that case, there must be a background to show what has been done. Because from what you are presenting, the two main things there will be private costs, access, and human resources. But they were not linked, even in your presentation. They were not linked. We didn't see how they linked to access. So it was not really well coordinated. It was not well harnessed. It was not, there was no cohesion in the presentation. Now, coming to your presentation. In your presentation, you don't read. I was so, I don't know, I so feel disturbed. Yes, you're going to type out your work, which may not be more than maybe between 14, 15 pages, including your references. But after that has been done, what do you now do during your presentation? You prepare your slides. Your slides will now help you to speak to your work. And in your slides, you don't go on reading. You don't populate your slides with text. You have to itemize. If possible, you can even use illustrations in your slides that will help you to walk through what you need to present before people start asking you questions and the rest of them. So reading through your work is out of it. You don't read it. You speak to your paper. You speak to your work. That is how it is done. So now, I don't know, Rex, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am, with you, ma'am.
Well, we are not seeing your name.
I can hear you, ma'am.
It's only your name we are seeing. What are you using? Are you using your handset or you are using, what are you using? Your network is so bad. Are you using your handset? Hello? You know, the two of you are the owner of this class. I'm sorry, Yemisi and Abibola. They are the bona fide students of the class.
We have that.
We are not hearing you, Rex.
Come back to safe driving.
We are not hearing you. Can you test? Use the chat. Use the chat. Chat us. Click on the chat.
Yes,
and type what you want to say. You see, there is the disadvantage of handset. Because when you are using handset, you cannot really enjoy all the features you need to enjoy. So after this class rest, I don't know if you are still hearing me. Please try as much as you can to see how you use your hotspots. I use my hotspots right here. To use your hotspots because it will help you a great deal. You see, if you were using your hotspot, you would have been able to walk around what we are doing. So, like I was saying, Rex, are you there now?
Yes, ma'am. This is my topic, ma'am.
Rex, are you there now?
Rex.
He's having issue with his network. So if you look at it, and even when you put this topic, this is not a, don't put your, at least we know what you are presenting. You put cover page. Who cares about your cover page? Who cares about your National Open University of Nigeria? So please, first look out for how you need to set up this. You have format everywhere on how you can work on it. Now that you have it, can you tell us what are your variables here? And tell us what are those things that, because you are looking at investigation. You say an investigation, what are you investigating? You say you are investigating, listen to what you put here. You said you are investigating the investigation of private costs, funding, and human resources and determinants of university school enrollment. What do you mean by university school enrollment in Kogi State? And I ask you this question. I spoke much on it. That is why I'm hard this way. It means all my correction, or I wasted my saliva talking about it. Because I make you to understand, when you say you are looking at the private cost, let's take it again. How will your private cost affect enrollment? You told me the other day, is it as per charging school fees? When you need to talk about school fees, I think you were talking about infrastructure. I said if it's infrastructure, if you are talking about infrastructure, then how will the school fees private cost? Because do you know what private costs are? Private cost this with the school fees, what the student will bear, the cost the student will bear, that is the private cost. The cost that the student will use, it may be entry motor from his house to the school, to and fro, buying food to eat during school hours, taking care of books, if there are uniform, taking care of uniform, paying for every other thing that is academics. So how does that affect the school enrollment, I ask? Are you saying it's because of that? And if we look at it, that is not the problem we have. From what you said that day, that wasn't the problem. If we are saying now people are going out of school, the school is there, but because they cannot meet up with the private cost, then one can look at that. Because your foundation didn't really emphasize what we are looking into. Then you talk about funding, and I told you that the funding has been so much, a lot of researches have been carried out that has to do with funding. So what is lacking in the funding? We don't know. Then you talk about human resources. And in your human resources, you were of the opinion that the federal government should release money for private universities. That was what you said that day. So I don't really know how you are connecting this. Yes, it's an area of interest, but it would have been nice if you are able to link it up properly that will make other persons to show interest in what you are doing. And for us to have a new knowledge and a new rethink of what you want to present. So I don't know if you have something different from this to talk about on your topic.
Thank you, Madam. Just as you said last time, I tried to explain private costs, which we analyzed it that private costs, just as you rightly said now, involves or include the following: talk of school fees.
Stop, don't rigmarole. When you are asked a question, please go straight and answer the question. Because if you rigmarole like this, when you are doing your presentations, it will affect you. Now speak to your work. You are the one there now to convince us why you are having these variables in your work. Let's be serious here. You are the one now to convince us. So say, yes, the private cost is this, and this is how I tend to get it, round it with the enrollment. And when you are even talking about enrollment is different from assets. I hope you know. Because you are talking about those that have come to enroll. We mean the access is there. So there could be some reasons why they will not enroll in school. So if you have to take us to your background, yes, you explain the private cost, talk about funding. So if you are introducing your background, the introduction of your background when you were talking, you'd have started from university education. That would be the first. Then you talk about enrollment. Then we will now know, oh, is there a gap in enrollment? Then before you bring in the private cost and the human resources. So you have your topic now to explain to us, please.
Private costs, funding, and human resources. They are all dependent variables. Why? No, sorry, they are independent variables. Why school enrollment are the independent variable in this topic? The dependent variables are the private cost, funding, and human resources. And the question is, how does this link or affect school enrollment? Private costs, which include school fees, it will affect school enrollments if it is of the high size. For instance, a poor
I will be stopping you now. What makes you to feel that private costs, funding, human resources are independent variable and enrollment is dependent variable?
No, I said, I corrected myself. I said funding, private costs, and human resources are dependent variables.
So what makes you to feel? Now explain to us, why are they dependent variables? How do you differentiate between dependent variable and independent variable? There is something that will let you know this is dependent, this is independent. Yeah, Missy, do you want to help him here, or Abibola? How do you differentiate? What makes you to know this is dependent, this is independent?
Dependent variables are the variable that varies on and based on what happened to the elements in the experiment. What happened to elements in the experiment depends on how the dependent variable varies. Why independent variables does not vary as a result of variables in the experiments. For instance, funding.
Which one changes?
Is a dependent variable that changes. Independent don't change.
Which one is depending on the other one?
Private cost is depending on.
Leave private cost first now. I want you to understand what dependent and independent is. Which one do you manipulate?
You manipulate dependent variables.
Is that true, class?
No, you manipulate independent variables.
Thank you. You manipulate the independent variable. Because that is why when you are changing the independent, it will be affecting the dependent. That's why I said, let's look at their name the way it goes. The dependent by its name is depending on the changes of the independent variable. So when you change anything, you are the one changing it, it will affect the result of the dependent variable. So if you look at this, here, your dependent variable will be enrollment. You call it from what you are saying. In this case, you are saying if there is a change in private cost, it will affect what? Enrollment. If there is, if I understood you well, if there is a change in funding, it will affect what? It will affect enrollment. If there is a change in human resources, it will affect enrollment. Is that not your concern?
Yes, that's my concern.
So if that is your concern, here you have one dependent variable, and that is the enrollment, school enrollment. Why you have three independent variables? Because what you are saying, that a change in any of the other variables will affect the level of enrollment. But it's not enrollment that affects the cost. Is it enrollment?
No, ma'am.
It's not enrollment that will affect the human resources. But you are saying, looking at the human resources, that possibly if you have enough human resources, you will have more students to come in or so thereabout. So if this is clear, I hope others have learned from it, because you must know what you are working on. Because that is what will equally affect when you get, if you are doing your proposal, you want to, as you're writing your seminar, you are coming up with research questions, or you are coming up with your hypothesis. These are the things that are going to affect the way you are thinking it out. So now, explain to us, the time is almost up. You have 1 minute. Explain to us how your cost here, how the funding, how the human resources will affect enrollment, will affect a change in enrollment. Because that is what you are talking about.
If private cost is being reduced or manageable or affordable, the students that are qualified.
Not be reduced. Now speak to us. This is a paper. This is what you're going to do. First and foremost, what are those private costs? What are the indices that make up your private costs?
The private costs are as follows: school fees, examination fees, transportation, hostel accommodations, buying of books, buying of uniform, and then the time and the effort. All these are private costs.
Continue. So how will those things now, because you are saying if they are reduced, so how are you going to reduce them? Are you not saying that if the federal government takes care of all private costs, there will be no single private cost, then it will attract more enrollment?
Of course, ma, but I know that is not feasible. But if they should take...
Don't speak like this. That gets me angry. This is your work. Tell us what you want to do with your work. Haba, this is your work. I've just asked you a question. I said that now you have to, if this were to be a class you are presenting, I would have thrown up these papers since. But because we are still trying to build you, but you are not reasoning along. Now you have the paper. Yes, this is my thinking. Your thinking could be right. But it is you now that will convince whoever that is listening to you about what you want to do. You are saying, I'm asking a question. You say we should reduce, or you say, oh, I know this is not visible. You laughed. This is a class. What will you do? This is what I want to do. This is the aspect I feel if this is done, then it can affect increase in enrollment. You go straight to let us know what you want to speak on. Are you ready for that?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry once again. Sorry, madam.
Don't tell me sorry. Do the needful.
Okay, ma'am. As I said from the beginning, private costs, if it's being reduced in the way of the federal government taking off some of the fees or reducing it at 50%, the school fees being paid by students, this will go a long way to attract those candidates that are sitting at home doing nothing.
Now, I ask you a question yesterday when you said this. Do you have facts to show what they are paying now and what you want the federal government to reduce? No, I told you we don't speak like journalists. And I ask you a question, how much is federal government charging as school fees the other day? So go and do more work. I will stop here with you because the time is up. Rest, since you are back, because with the way you are handling your work, Mr. O'Malley, it might not go through, but if you handle it well, it will go through. Because if you just say reduce, are you agitating? Are you going to say remove all private costs? Because if you say reduce, there are some federal universities, some programs, they are paying 14,000 naira as school fees. And if you are saying this, because you have to, rest is gone again. If you have to look at this, you have to look at the reality that is on ground. Here you are talking about funding. You are talking about human resources. So first and foremost, you go and sit there and do your homework on your cost, or your funding, and so on. You see, like I told you, you still have a place where you post your work. We'll still work between now and end of September. Rex, are you back?
Yes, ma'am, I'm back, ma'am.
Okay, I know that you heard most of the things. All these things, I've already uploaded them inside our course page. Even the aspect you missed out, if you go there and you play all the videos, all the class videos we've had, they're all in the course page.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you go to the course page and you play it, you will see it there. And you've heard the corrections, maybe some of them that I've made. And some of those corrections, I hope your internet is stable now. Your topic, we cannot look at your topic now because you are not sharing. Because we would have loved to look at your topic. That was the mindset for today, to go through your topic and see what you presented, whether they are in line. But however, you still have an opportunity because there is a discussion page I set up for the two of you that you should critique one another. And I told you I'm going to use it to assess your work. Then you still have that opportunity to go there, work on this. You can exchange because most of you are in the same program. So exchange your work, critique one another, put your post on that something. Let me see where your post, what you have critiqued and so on. And at the same time, I make some discussion forum. Make sure you participate in the discussion forum because today will be the last day for this as real-time meeting. Otherwise, we are going to do it through the forum. And I spoke about your conduct was better when you were starting as compared to that of Omale, that you must conduct yourself well when you are starting your seminar presentation. Even if every person there is familiar to you, at the time it's now academics and it is a formal, you have to formalize it. I spoke about that. Then the reading that if both of you did, in fact, is out of it. You don't read through the work like that. No, it is not done. You speak highlight because you might be given just 10 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. They will tell you, speak to your work in 5 minutes. So it is the way you have arranged your work in your PowerPoint that will help you. Sometimes we may not even have text on the PowerPoint. It could just be illustrations. And that illustration will just lead you to what you want to talk about. So we're going to stop here. But before we stop here, the classes I want us to hold, I don't know how we're going to work around it, to do our EDP914 and EDP916. I am thinking we could have our class tomorrow. Rest, I don't know how convenient that would be for you. I would have really loved you to look out for a place to meet so that we can have our classes Monday and Saturday tomorrow, 8 to 10. Sunday, can we meet 6 to 8 p.m.? Then Monday, 8 to 10. Tuesday, because those are public holidays. Monday, 8 to 10. Tuesday, 8 to 10. Then Wednesday is work day. We'll still meet because I'm thinking if we can meet up to Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
Starting tomorrow to Saturday the other week. Would that be fine?
It's okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to post our post. Maybe later today in the evening, please, you go to the course page and look at how we are going to work around it on the course page, because I will put it on the course page so that we'll see.
Okay.
For the rest, our friends that joined us, I hope you gained something. Yebisi and Abimbola, did you gain anything? Where is Abimbola? Abimbola is off.
No, I'm not off. I'm off.
Okay. So how did you enjoy the class? I know, did you gain anything at all?
It's a great pleasure on my part. A very big opportunity.
Okay. Omale, please, can you remove your sharing now so that we can end the class? On share. Please, on share.
Okay.
On share. So for the rest of us, I don't know if you have any question. Abimbola, Mr. Omale, please on share.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma, can I maybe find time one of these days to meet you at the headquarters, ma?
That I cannot assure you now because really right now I'm so busy. Are you in Abuja?
Yes, ma.
Because right now I'm really busy. That is why you see, even when you were in Lagos, I know Rest and Sunday, they were really on me. They wanted me to come on board, that some of you want to see how this thing works and the rest of them, but I was really busy. That was why I couldn't. And from next week, in fact, on Thursday precisely, we have a workshop here, and I'm one of the facilitators. Even that 8 to 10, I'm fixing for them. What I will do, I might be ending the class maybe 5 minutes to 10 or 10 minutes to 10 and rush to the workshop section. Then after next week, like the other week, I have another one to attend to, and it's likely to be outside Abuja. So right now, I cannot assure you come or don't come. I can't say so. What program are you? You said EduTech.
Yes, ma'am.
You're in EduTech. And again, you know, I can't even work with you fully because I wouldn't know you are attached to somebody. But the one that is general, yes, I can share like this. You will come in, you share, because I wouldn't know what that person will tell you to do.
Okay.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Who is it?
Yes.
People have seminar in EduTech, you do.
Yes, we do.
And who is taking you? Who is in charge of your seminar?
For now, it's Dr. Adebanjo, but
Fine.
I had it's supposed to be is it Professor Salawu or somebody?
Professor Salawu is fine. So speak with them. They can take you up online.
So they've not given me the Professor Salawu yet, but I met Professor Banjo in Lagos. Actually, what I wanted to see you for is like maybe just.
Okay, don't worry. Let me end the class. Then I will still leave it on. Then we'll see. Okay, right now, since there is no other thing for us to talk about.
Hello, ma.
Okay.
Once again, I want to, on behalf of the class, I apologize for this class. It was a bit mixed up. The network was bad. And
no, that one is not your making. But the thing is that try and look at, like that's your hotspot. Try and see how you can work on it. Because I use hotspots a lot. And because network, you can't rely on it, you look around which one is better off in your area. Because if we must go this way, then we must walk around it to have a good network.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And also, I know you still put some PowerPoint, but I was trying to really do some work that I ran against time. So please don't be angry with us. We are not ready today.
No, I'm not angry with you. This session, I'm not angry. This session is for you to learn. Are you getting it? If I don't talk about it, you will make the mistake when you are doing the representation. So this is where I can bring out all the areas of minuses. At this time, I don't have to pet you because this is where I need to tell you the real thing that ought to be. Are you getting what I'm saying? And that is what I have done. It's not, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. It's my duty to guide you, and that is what I am doing.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Or was I too harsh in my words?
No.
No, not on me, Domale. You were a bit hard. You were a bit hard on Domale.
Yes, I was harsh. I was a bit harsh on Omale because I have corrected him before now. And he didn't even affect the corrections I made. Isn't it, Mr. Omale? Isn't it?
Also, man.
Concord.
Don't concord. Okay, Mr. Rez.
Then also, since we are still on the learning stage, in what you are saying now, with the issue of bringing a new knowledge or a new perspective, I'm beginning to see that my topic might be too broad and too common. I know you mentioned yesterday the issue of soft skills. And I know when we do trainings, we usually deal on the, should I say, hard skill now. I'm thinking of evaluating the degree to which soft skills are being incorporated into the entrepreneurship.
Yesterday, Mr. Rez, also, I worked on your topic. And I told you, yes, you could look into the broad form where you told me that the area you people are really having concern, you are having concern. You told me the area of your concern is that you discover that out of the total number that is being trained, the graduates that have been trained, just a few, I can't remember the percentage you mentioned, but a lower percentage are those that actually go into it. That you still find the rest of them looking for job. And I told you, go and do evaluation of the scheme you people are doing in Delta State. And I asked yesterday, I will now say, oh, you cannot say. I said, fine, I don't know the name of those schemes because you have the name you call it. And you now evaluate it as it's regular planning because it's planning that, because from what you have mentioned, your concern is that, oh, you are spending so much and getting so little.
Yes, ma'am.
Your concern. And I said to get that concern solved is to evaluate. And when you are evaluating, you will start, you look at, okay, this is what the objective of the program is. Now, the purpose of it that led to it, because it was a result of planning, educational planning. Yes, entrepreneurship has been inculcated into the general studies in the university. What happened? Is it that, okay, that didn't work? At a state level, you people now set up some scheme, and the people you are admitting there are already graduates, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
You now said, after that, you now discover that maybe out of 10, only 2 or 1 will actually go on with it. That's why we even collect the money and use it to travel, to go and do some other things. So I now say, okay, you now have to evaluate that program. Because if you evaluate the program, you will now be able to know why are they doing that. Because even that day, I remember that I was trying to bring out some kind of possible reasons that some of these students, you discover that it's out of, oh, I come out of job, school, no job. They say, I'll come and attend this one. Not that they have the ability, not that that is what they really want to do. And that will affect the change in behavior of what they exhibit, even when you give them that skill. Then when you now carry out the study, that you should look for those that have already graduated, reach them, find out, especially those of them that are not doing it, why? What is there? So from there, you now have a plan for a structure that will give you that educational plan that you will use. Is that not what, that was the discussion I had with you yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
I told you that based on what you were saying, you can just concentrate on that program, but you have to start from the educational background because something led to entrepreneurship being sung everywhere. It's because you need to empower job creation, this and that, and the rest of them. So when you build up like that and you get to this stage, this one has led from the federal level to the state level, this one was covered. We want to find out, you want to evaluate the sources of this scheme, the sources of this structure that have been embedded into educational system, whereby you are now combining both formal and semi-formal, possibly. And I say with that, you will have the good thing that even where you are working, where you carry out your research well, it may form a very big thing for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, on this note, we end the class. So we'll see you next time.